Well, today we've got a bit of a treat. Props to some of these manufacturers for letting us drive sports cars in the winter. Chevrolet, Nissan, Lexus, they're all doing it correctly. And today we have a GTR. It's been a long time since we've driven a Nissan GTR, and we're very glad to have this one on winter tires. I've always thought this would be a pretty ideal winter driving sports car slash, I don't know, is the GTR a supercar? Kind of, almost, not really. Yeah, all-wheel drive, winter tires, a very intelligent system. You can turn everything off, have a little bit of fun. Super controllable in the snow and just an absolute weapon. Yeah, I think Nissan's done quite well here. I figured this would also be a good opportunity to get some first impressions on this GTR and just kind of share some of my initial thoughts on what this thing is like to drive. I've driven a few GTRs over the years, but really haven't had any extended seat time in them. And one of the first things I noticed about this one, this new 2021, is that it's so much more refined than GTRs that I've driven in the past. There's no more clunks and rattles and gear whine from the gearbox. It's a pretty smooth experience. GTRs used to be pretty tactile sounding, not necessarily tactile feeling, but they really felt like there were a lot of mechanical things going on in the background, and that was one really cool thing about them. And this guy, I don't know if he's gonna make it. There we go. We are. They seem to have really smoothed out and refined this GTR. Of course, it's a more expensive proposition now. I think this is around $112,000. So I remember when these first came out, they were around the 70K mark, and things have definitely changed a bit. Look at these blue exhaust tips. Very JDM. What kind of winter tires are these? These are Blizzak LM25s. Gotta go with the Blizzak. All right, let's keep driving. The obligatory heel click. Oh man, good stuff, you guys. Good stuff. No complaints here today. I really like the adjustability of this GTR. You can put your suspension into comfort, your traction and stability control, turn that completely off, and put your drivetrain in whatever mode you prefer. Plus R mode, race, what have you. Look how beautifully controllable this thing is. You know, and in a car like this, you don't need everything to be new necessarily. You need Apple CarPlay. That's kind of all I want. I want to be able to run my Waze. I want to be able to have my Spotify app. You know, just various different things that you would get in any modern vehicle these days. Everyone's going to say it's a shame to bring your beautiful GTR or Corvette out into the snow and the salt. But you know what? It's a car. Drive it, take good care of it, wash it off, maybe get it rust-proofed by Crown or something, and have fun. I enjoyed my BRZ every single winter for 4 years, and honestly, that was kind of the time when I enjoyed it the most. I don't have blind spot monitoring, so I do have to pay a little bit more attention to my mirrors and my surroundings. Honestly, because this is just a 6-speed dual clutch, I've been driving this in manual mode most of the time, most of my miles behind this so far. It's pretty enjoyable to drive. These paddle shifters feel pretty good. They've definitely changed things up over the years. They're not the original kind of aluminum style that they were. Comfort mode is very livable. No issues there. Even this cabin, I think, has aged pretty well. We have a lot of nice stitching, nice leather. There's some carbon fiber bits. This matte carbon down by the center console is actually quite nice to look at. I just have so much confidence in this thing. GTRs used to be a little bit edgy. They would step out on you on occasion, and you had to keep your wits about you. I think the fact that this has winter tires and there's just less grip overall takes some of that edge off and allows it to be slightly more predictable. Sometimes when you have so much grip and then no grip, it can be difficult to control a sports car at the limit. But this GTR feels pretty good on these Blizzaks. Power just builds so beautifully and so progressively. It's very satisfying to put your foot down in this car. Even on 4th gear, 3,000 RPM, it's just a little bit of turbo lag and then it comes on really strong. It's fun. Doesn't get the best fuel economy on the highway. We're cruising at about 75 miles an hour at 2750 RPM. 16 in the city, 22 on the highway. Premium fuel all day long. A few pulls in this thing and you'll be down a quarter tank in no time. That said, from a practical standpoint, there really isn't a lot to dislike in this GTR. The driving position is very nice. These seats are exceedingly comfortable. You even have a small parcel shelf of a back seat, probably usable in a pinch. The ride quality is excellent in comfort mode. Plus R mode stiffens things up noticeably, but you don't really need to do that. Comfort is perfectly fine for a vehicle like this, especially in these conditions. It gives you a little bit of extra grip. I have clear, sharp, distinct, and simple gauges. Another thing I noticed, I just love the click from these vents. They're a little bit lightweight feeling, and it's just a satisfying noise you get turning them on, turning them off. Kind of forgotten which side, which is on, which is off. There we go. Weapon. Ooh, I bet those pops are pretty loud from the outside too. It makes a good noise. Oh yeah, plus R mode gives you really instant paddle shifting action. That's nice. It's like the GTR immediately had a cup of coffee and it's ready to go. I've only lived with this GTR about a day, and right off the bat, there's some things I really like about it. It's fun. It gives you those thrills in those little tiny moments and those gaps in traffic where you can just kind of shoot through. You hear the engine, you shift through a few gears, you change the drive modes, and it just puts a smile on your face. It's super capable, super raw. Launch control is bonkers in a car like this. We'll do a little launch up here. I'll show you guys what that's like on wet pavement. There's a lot of rev limiter bouncing. It sounds pretty amazing too. But, you know, a car like this, it does a little bit of everything. You can put it into comfort mode, you can change the drive modes and tailor them to your road conditions and your driving style and what you want at them in that moment. And there's something to be said about that. It just pulls out of everything. Braking performance in the snow is pretty impressive too. And of course, getting in this thing is, you know, it's like you're in the presence of a bit of a legend. And the GTR has always had amazing street cred. It's always been something that if you know, and everyone else doesn't really pay much attention to it. And that is kind of cool. So I think there's something to be said about that. It is one of those cars that just gets under your skin. I think it'd be enjoyable to live with on a daily basis. I think you could have a lot of fun in a car like this. It's gotten more and more expensive over the years. The price has gone up and up. But really, it's not that much different from how it was initially. They've just done subtle improvements and little refinements here and there to make this just a better overall sports car. And when manufacturers do that, when they make little tweaks over time, they usually end up in a pretty good place and end up at a place where the market kind of directs them and consumers direct them. There's just enough ground clearance in this to play a bit of rally car. Oh, those pops. Really does a good job soaking up the bumps. I'm amazed at the ride quality with this. The suspension is just so well damped and tuned. In comfort mode, it's almost perfect for stuff like this. And then in Plus R, it just stiffens up beautifully so that when you do have traction, you can really put it down. They got a little bit more snow out here than we did in our area. This is just beautiful. GTR horn test. It works. This car is like that friend that's a bad influence on you, always egging you on. It's a good car when you just want to keep driving it, and the video keeps going and going and going. FedEx driver's getting it. to drift. He's drifting. The FedEx driver is drifting. That was funny. That was awesome. Like I said, this car is the bad influence, and it even influences vehicles outside of its realm. Let's see if we can sneak a launch control in here. We have to be in +R mode all the way across the board. Oh, you can see how much stiffer it gets. Incredible. Just incredible. I love this thing. It's great. Still thrills after all these years. The first 24 hours in this GTR has been fantastic. I'm excited to spend some more time in it. And we're excited to bring you some fun content in it in the snow here these next few days. So stay tuned on Winding Road Magazine's YouTube channel. Check out Daily Motor. He's also going to be filming some stuff on this GTR. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Shifter does get a little bit weird to operate sometimes, but you get used to it. Alright guys, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. That was fun. It cleaned itself on this drive. It went from dirty to being clean. Good day. Good car. Good conditions.